Speaking of mining, Charl,
Yes.
Sibanye-Stillwater is in the news a lot, right? It's in the news a lot. All kinds of things going on. And you're the CFO. So you've got challenges that have happened. I'm sure you have challenges even now. When you came, I was like, thank God you're here, because I was thinking at 4 o'clock, you're going to call me and say, listen, there's this transaction going down, or there's that and that. I'm not going to make it. How is life as CFO of Sibanye-Stillwater? The challenges that you've had, how have you dealt with them? Give us a picture.
Yeah, so I love every day. You know, I was with my former employer and for 18 years, and then we got carved out. So I continued that service, but we moved and we created a new company. And we've got an entrepreneurial CEO, and it's a roller coaster ride, but I enjoy every day. No day is the same. And I've chosen this career. I went into mining, and if I have to do it again, maybe I want to go into banking, or something a little bit less stressful. Maybe I want to be a teller in a bank. So all I have to worry at the end of the day is whether I balance or not. But I really enjoy it. Like you say, we've grown the company. We've been through tough times. In 2018. We had a very bad safety record, and to the extent where a lot of investors were considering us an uninvestable stock. And we had to work very hard to explain to them what we're doing about safety, what is the journey we're taking with safety. And we've made massive inroads. We haven't arrived. I believe safety is a journey that you have to tackle 24/7, 365 days of the year. If it's not front and center, things will happen. It's a bit like driving with your eyes closed. Maybe nothing happens, but chances are that something can happen.
Yeah.
Life as a mining CEO is great. Yes, now we're going through some tough times. Platinum group metals are not at their all-time highs. In fact, at one stage, palladium was at $3,500. Rhodium was at $30,000. Today, it's $1,000 for palladium, and it's $4,500 for rhodium. So you can see how our revenue base has shrunk. But during that phase, we also took on a lot of debt because we wanted to grow the company. So now it's really just working through that storm. But we were fortunate in that I wouldn't say we were quite clairvoyant, but we realized that things were not going to stay good forever. And we started taking action, I would probably say 2 years before we got into this tough period. And, that has really put us in a good space to go through the storm. We always use Noah's rule, which says, don't try and predict storms, rather build arcs.
Okay.
So, we've built an arc, and now we can navigate through it.
I titled your chapter Thinking Outside the Boss. And the reason was because you told me about this book, Maverick.
Yes.
And that's your philosophy of managing people. Maybe unpack that a bit. Yeah.
So, when you come out of university and you've got your degree and, you're ready to conquer the world. So I arrived at Lebanon Gold Mine and I was put in accounts. I'm now a postgraduate trainee, and people started talking about working cost. And, you're fresh out of Austin and you think, what is working cost? And because, your textbook said it was operating cost, so I had to quietly go and ask somebody behind the scenes, what is this? But when it was probably my second or third year working on the mine, somebody gave me the book Maverick by Ricardo Semler. Now, the short story is it was a person that took over a family business. He literally tore up the rule book. He fired the board on day one. Now, I can't do that. I can't fire my board. It's the other way around. But he just went unconventional. It was really about turning it into a people's business. People could decide on their own increases in that business. But similarly, they also were empowered that when a business went through tough times, they could restructure the business themselves. They could take pay cuts. So it really inspired me not to be this gray accountant with a suit, this is what the standard says and this is what you'll do. I mean, I wanted to be different in my philosophy, in my approach, how I work with people, how I deal with people. And that book really gave me a lot of the ammunition. Now, I cannot, like I say, do everything that this guy did, but it gave me a good sense of one day when I look back, what would people say about me? And that was the philosophy of the book for me. And yeah, I took a lot out of it. And yeah, I mean, go and read the book. It reads like a novel. The way that this guy, and he tells the story. Whenever he comes back from holiday, he doesn't know where his office is. And he was the CEO. Because the team felt that they needed that office for something specific, and that was just the way it operated. And yeah, people don't park in my parking, or they don't throw me out of my office, but they can.
Yeah.
But I've also, that subservient leadership also came out of the book.
Yeah.
And my team to this day, I always say to them, we in year end now. So if you ask me, am I thriving or surviving? I'm barely holding on, but my team knows, we're not a hierarchical organization.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to go through one person, another person. I mean, if one of my accountants have written a memo, they can send it straight to me. I can do that first review. I don't mind doing it. I always say, call me if you want me to punch journals at year end.
Yeah.
And it all comes out of that book.
Awesome.